Hi everyone, Mature Simmer here. Welcome back to Risu Forest. So, just kind of been waiting for my soy crops to grow. We're still not at the point where they can be harvested, and there's really not a lot for me to do right now until that happens, so we'll get there. Alright, so we've gotten here to October, but it's a pretty miserable day. Looks like weather forecast is telling me that the sun is going to come out at some point. If we try to harvest now in the rain, we're going to really impact our yield because it's just not as effective. So definitely don't want to lose anything. So we're going to wait until we get some better weather. Alright, so luckily it didn't take too long. Sun's come out. Things have started to dry. Let's get harvesting. So yeah, at this point, this is definitely one of the things that we want to get repaired. Or not repaired, but we want to get replaced. Okay, I'm not sure why I cannot get this to move. There we go. It just took that long to get going. I knew it took a while, but wow, even that seemed exceptionally long. Why? It is just really, really slow here. So, like I said, I mean, it works, but just not quite sure why it's going this slow. This is crazy. But yeah, the thing that I am trying to determine is I can't... Well, I could. At this point, I have enough money to, like, put GPS on this, which would be kind of nuts. Because this clearly is not a harvester we want to live with long term. So my big question is going to be, you know, what do I get off of this? That's kind of the big thing. We've got, you know, a decent sized field here, but we're obviously not moving very quickly. And I'm going to have to see and keep talking with the shop about what our options are going to be. I mean, the other piece is strawberries are doing okay. You know, we're at least covering our maintenance costs on the farm each day, and then some. So as far as the dollars you see, that's all just selling strawberries. So while we were waiting to be able to harvest, it wasn't as if we were just losing money, which is what our situation was the first time. So we're definitely in a better spot from a survival standpoint where we're at least covering our costs. So we're going to continue to make some profit, and once again, we could obviously always cut some trees. Get rid of that menu there so it's less difficult to see, and then you know, that's the situation we've got. But again, it's survival farming at its prime. If you were with me in the last soybean harvest, you saw how this went, and you know how difficult and time-consuming that was. And now just imagine a field, you know, probably 4 times the size. So, yeah, we're going to be here a while. Wow. Well, this is going to be fun. So, yeah, just not sure at this point what I'm going to take a look at and what I can do to move myself along, but I don't know that expanding, I mean, I can keep expanding the field, but I've really got to make a new harvester a priority. I mean, this is going to be unbearable. I would think I could get this done. I mean, again, it's a long day. We did lose a few hours due to the rain. Obviously, hopefully we won't have rain coming back. But at this point, you can see, I mean, it has no ability to get up the hill. There's just a lot of problems with this thing. So I'm just hopping into the combine to kind of see the view here, and you know, it's dusty, smoky, loud. Just everything a harvester is, but you know, it's one thing if you're pulling things off the field at a healthier pace. The other thing is, I would love to be able to store crops eventually, because really looking at the market, I think if I waited till the spring to sell this crop, I could almost double my profit. But I really don't have that luxury. So I'll take what I can get. Again, that's survival mode, and we'll do everything we can. I've made one circuit of the field, and it's taken me a full hour. So as far as my feeling about, can I get this done today, I'm beginning to wonder if this field is harvestable with the equipment I have in a single day. It may not be. I don't know that there's much we can do. In the time I've had sitting around, I've gone ahead and I've called the equipment dealer, and unfortunately I don't really have great news. I mean, harvesters are just not inexpensive pieces of equipment, even older ones and so forth. So the best they were able to do, I mean, there were things similar to what I have now that cost $12,000 or $13,000, but yeah. So what they were able to tell me is, wow, this is just really struggling up this hill. You can see the wheels are spinning. I mean, we're creeping along, but you know, hopefully this will change as I get in a different position in the field. Maybe the angle of attack on the crop will be different. Wow. Well, it'll get there eventually, but wow. I mean, yeah, I'm moving, but it's very, very slow. So in that regard, one of the things they talked about is they can find a Rostel mash. I think they said it was an SK6, but you know, it would have a header with a larger working width. Just kind of playing with picking the header up and down a little bit to try to make some movement. There we go. Just had to get past that piece. So I think this is a 3-meter header. I think that would give me a 5-meter header. The capacity is about the same, but obviously the difference could be that at least I could go through quicker. But the challenge is it's a $46,000 harvester still. You know, so unlike modern harvesters that are $300,000-$400,000, it's still a bargain, but you know, it's still nowhere near our price range at this point. I mean, I could, you know, and I'd hate to do that, but you know, the reality, maybe I sit around and work strawberries and just make sure the strawberries keep growing for a couple years until I get to the point where I can afford that, because the difference is it's over double the horsepower. So I would think then that would change this working situation, because You know, this one's supposed to harvest at 6 miles an hour, but clearly we've not achieved that. And I think it's simply because, again, we're talking about a 70 horsepower piece of equipment on, you know, let's not kid ourselves, some crazy hills. I mean, look at the angle we've got here. So I think it's just, this is a bit too much for this Ford. You know, it's made for flat Great Plains in America, and we're putting it on hills here in France. It's just not enjoying it in any way. And again, I mean, we're almost 30 minutes from, you know, the end of the field there, starting our second go-round, and we're just finally here. You know, it was 10:40 or so, just over there. So this is not a pretty sight in any way. And unfortunately, it doesn't look like we have a way out at this point. You know, the dealer did promise me he'll keep looking. He'll see if something comes along. But, you know, if anybody knows of anything, certainly drop them in the comments of the videos. But, you know, you know what the finances are. You know, I'm looking for something in maybe a $20,000 or $30,000 range that will be a step up. So I found other things that, again, are affordable, but they're in essence the same machine. It may, you know, there may be a horsepower difference, but, you know, and some of them frankly look like they don't even have a hopper. So I would need a trailer with me, and you know, it's me here in survival land. I don't have someone to sit there and drive alongside me, so I can't really use those. So yeah, it's grim prospects right now. It just very much seems like I'm going to be doing what I'm doing here and just trying to get done. So that's exactly what I'm going to put my nose to the grindstone on here and keep going along, and we'll see where we're at. You know, I can make this an insanely long day, but I'm beginning to wonder, even if I push myself till midnight, if I'm going to get this field done. And you know, I think I'm okay. I mean, I think it'll survive into the next day, and I don't think crops will wither or anything. But I don't know that I'm entirely clear on how that's going to operate. So, in any event, I'm going to go ahead and keep working on this. I think I've given you what I can, and I'm pretty sure this would be kind of painful to sit and watch. It's going to be pretty painful to sit and do, so I will see you when I'm completed and let you know what happened. Obviously, you'll see the money situation from the 22,000 we have here, and you know, maybe we'll surprise ourselves. Maybe we'll be up there near 46,000, but given that soybeans are about 1,000 a liter, as I said, I don't know that we're going to have, you know, we're not going to get, what would it need to be, 24,000 liters off this field? I would be amazed. I think we got, what, 3,000 or maybe 8,000 liters off the other one. I don't remember when we did it the first time, but I think if I recall, it was just, we didn't even fill the trailer. So I'm sure we'll have more than one trailer load here. We've expanded the field quite a bit, but you know, 2 trailers isn't gonna get me up to where I need to even consider a combine. Starting to miss things. I really, again, don't have a whole lot of time to, or a whole lot of energy and power in my combine to be playing these games, but it is so hard to see the soybeans and it's going to be even worse at night. Ooh, I am dreading this harvest, but I'll let you know how it goes when I'm done. Finishing up the last part of the harvest. As you can see, it's pretty late. I'm gonna go hop into the tractor and go dump the last piece off. So, it is October, so it's dark, but it did take a long time. I mean, it's almost 7 p.m. and we started at 9:42 a.m. So, yeah, a long time. I don't know how else to say it. It was a long time. So, I really, really would love to have an alternative to this harvester, but the reality is I don't think we do. Alright, so we'll head over to the tractor here. So basically, the harvester fills the trailer, and then some. So there is a I basically with a full harvester, I fill the trailer, and then there's about 50 liters, a little over 50 liters. I think the first time it was 52. So we did 2 full harvesters, or 2 full trailers, and well, which turn into 2 full harvesters, and then we did this partial. Whoops. Meant to hit the cruise control setting so that I could get my foot off the gas and just more focus on driving. So just trying to get where we need to deliver, and obviously in the dark it's even worse. So we've gotten about 3,400 per trailer load. We're obviously not going to get that here because the full trailer is 3,150, and then the full harvester is about 3,200. So okay, the road should be up here somewhere. So let me just slow down. There it is. So we're certainly going to get over 30,000 in our total bank account. And as I said, the harvester, I think that's out of the question for quite some time. I could go down the path of just knocking down a ton of trees again. Just not sure that that's the route I want to take, unless I just really, really have to. Alright, so 32,431. So what I have determined, as I've spent 10 hours in the tractor today, trying to determine how I want to try to make some progress on this farm. There's a deer running there ahead of us. It's off to the left, so I think we're good. Just whoa, 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 whoa. Oh boy. Wonderful. Wonderful rock that always comes out of nowhere, especially in the dark. So, alright. And that's another one. I think that's the one we usually flip out on. Alright, let's try this now. I knew as I was near the trail, I'm like, this is just not going to be a good one. But luckily we didn't get to the point where we flipped and then had to right size, or yeah, we'll say right size. I don't know, right ourselves. That's what I mean. What I think I can do, so I did talk to the equipment folks again a bit more. And what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to grow some straight cereal crops, and I'm thinking I'm going to grow oats, just because again they're good on the dollars, And I think they also do a great job of producing straw, which is what I'm also going for. So I think for the same price that I could upgrade just my harvester, which obviously then doesn't include a header, I can get a baler and a wagon to pick up the bales, and I think I can then do some grains. And let me turn on my flashlight, get here. Alright, so back in, we're at least a little protected, and we have some light. So, I'll just go hang out here near the hammock, like always. So I think I then can get some crop, obviously. So the oats right now are about the same amount. Now when the soybeans are in at the high end, soybeans do great. And so I think, unfortunately, we're just for now going to be on a little bit of a cycle where if I then just jump right into the oats, we're going to maybe hit a lower point in the sales cycle. But, it still should be pretty good. I'm hopeful. And then we should be able to bale things up and pick up the straw, and hopefully that will be enough extra to kind of really tip the scales. But to me, at least, I think that is going to help us make some money. And obviously we're going to make money on the strawberries as well. But if I can get, I think, about 40 to 45,000, I might have an opportunity for a cheap baler and trailer combination. The trick is, again, is it just going to be as difficult to use as the harvester? But if nothing else, maybe we can sell it back and not lose too much money. So that's my plan right now. We're sitting here, 32,000. Obviously, we started, I think, we started the day at like 22, so we made about 10,000 off that field. But we started waiting for the crop really at around 16 or 18,000, and so we've kind of doubled our money with the strawberries and so forth. So that's the other piece, is as we're waiting, as we're getting the oats in the ground, we're going to continue to have the strawberries generating some income for us. So I'm hoping, regardless of what happens, then we should be in a position by the time we harvest the oats to be able to get the baler. And again, I may change my mind as I get closer if we're suddenly doing really well. But the only way I think we would do really well is we'd literally have to go a year and a half before we harvested, because I think we're only making like 2,000 a day on the strawberries. But if we got to like 52,000 somehow, then the harvester would be in reach, and so I could go ahead and maybe cut a tree or whatever and get myself over the hump. And that may still be what I decide to do if I get up there, is to still get the harvester before the oat harvest, because I could always add a baler later. So it's really just the sequence. Am I doing harvester first, baler first? It's just even the $46,000 harvester, it's almost a downgrade. We're going to have a slightly lower capacity. Yes, we'll have larger working with. So it's really just a trade at that point for work time, so that we're not taking 10 hours here, and hopefully we can get it done in 2 or 3. But the other key is I'm trying to get to the point where I can get a harvester that I can decide I'm going to invest GPS on, like I did with the tractor, because I knew the tractor would be around for a bit. And I just don't know that that's a harvester that would do that. So I think it's still going to be a stepping stone harvester. But I think that's partially what's taking longer to harvest, is I'm trying to do it visually, and I'm sure I could be a lot more efficient with the GPS. But in any event, it's dark, it's 7:30. It's been a long day. I'm going to call it here, and I will see you next time.